and then that way I can make it a little reference area there. Okay, so step one, let's start with Math 6. And I'm hoping that the sharing card acts a little better this time, but we'll see. Okay, so first task, that is the making sure every book is LTI, just involves going through and checking off the books. If they're already LTI, then we're cool. If they're one that you guys created, like Roger was referring to, you guys made your own book in some cases, then we have to have some action on those ones. So really, just opening it up, that one's clearly LTI, just by the way it's loading, right? Okay, so that one, and if you have a little checklist, you can just, or however you're keeping track, 1.1 number strategies, cool, we'll leave it as is. 1.2 greatest common factor, okay, that one's cool too. I can see already, so we'll jump back.
They're all going to be good in this course.
Oh, okay, so all right, let's fake one here then. All right, we get down to multiplying review, we open it up and we say, okay, this is one that doesn't open up this way. And so that's one that we built. All right, so what we're going to do then is we're going to go back. And so that was 1.6. And so what we would do in that case is we just go over to the right and we have that little sharing basket there. So our basket to go into our cart is the visualization here. And so we copy to sharing cart, confirm. All right, so now we go up here and in our sharing cart, we have that one. We can get rid of that old one just so that we don't get or I guess we can click on here just so we don't get our sharing cart too cluttered. So we have the 1.6. So now we go to our source area and we say, and you know what? Let's clear all this crap out of here. We don't need all this stuff in there. In other words, let's not make a course look more cluttered than we need to. Recent activity, that might not be bad. So we'll grab sharing cart and anyway. Okay, so sharing cart. So now I go down to the copy to course, which is the little icon beside the garbage can there. I click that and I say, okay, however you decide to organize this, perhaps you say that instead of unit 1, you rename this as math 4 and this math 5 and this math 6, whatever. Okay, so we put it under the math 6 area and I just click on that arrow and there we go. Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. I grabbed the assignment. Anyways,
okay.
at this point, here, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to do it right just to, I made a mistake when I grabbed it. I grabbed the assignment, which we're grabbing books. So let me redo that part, sorry. So if I head over here and I went down one, I shouldn't have, there we go. Confirm. All right, so now the book that we want is there, 1.6 multiplying review. Again, we'll go back to here and in the sharing cart, we'll just do a quick refresh and there it is, 1.6. We'll click copy to course. And if this was the math 6 area, we put it there. Now that we have it there, it's just a regular old book. And so what we would do is we just mouse over it. And down in the bottom left corner, you can see the URL comes up. And at the end of the URL, it says ID equals 48044. So you memorize that or jot a little note of that or whatever. You go back to your math 6 and you say, okay, let's add a book to replace this because I'm going to end up deleting it from here. I want it only in the source area, like the actual book. So now I go into a WCLN LTI book and I call it the same name, 1.6 multiplying review. And I go under show more and just scroll down until you see custom parameter, ID equals 48042, I don't remember. Anyways, whatever it was. And then just save and display. And then, here, I'll just do it. Okay, well, at least I grabbed a legitimate book. So anyways, my numbering was wrong, but and now all you do is you come in here and you say, okay, now I can delete the actual book because now I have it in the source area and I don't want any real books in here. I only want links. And then once I delete that, I drag this up in place of it and I'm done. And I'm going to delete this before I forget and confuse anybody. But so bottom line is going through, checking the books off, and for every course that you've got completed, and I even put a little table in here so that we can kind of keep track. So in other words, once you've got the LTI done, then put an X in there, or maybe put initials in there or something like that, and then we kind of keep track of who's doing what. And then, yeah, once we see all of the math and science courses or whichever you decide is the order in which we want to do things, then once we do that, then we would probably come back and meet up and say, okay, next step, let's talk about the tests and or the learning guide links or whatever we want to do. And so then we just kind of go through this process and hit those courses. And really, I guess the goal is that kind of by June, we have all the LTI done. We have the database and tests all rebuilt. We have the learning guides in place. And now we're kind of in a position that we could release this course. We may not think that maybe some of the books that you guys have added, you're kind of thinking, oh, I really want to go back and add some more stuff to that book, clean it up or whatever. And at that point you can, because now you're not in a panic anymore. You can kind of release it and carry on with that work anytime you want. So anyways, that's kind of the process I was thinking of as far as, an approach to this is perhaps today we just kind of attack it from the point of view of how do we look after the LTI side of this, and then we kind of decide who's doing what, and then from there, you guys just kind of come back in here and adjust this table. And if you were working on a Math 6, say, then you'll just add Math 6 to here. And once you're done all that, then let's say Mark's working on Math 6. He just goes under the LTI area and goes MJ. Wow, that must have been a great basketball initials back in the day, eh? Anyways, not distracted. And so then, yeah, sometime we chat again. We kind of email around and say, you know what, we're pretty much to the end of the maths and sciences here, or whatever we want to accomplish there. Maybe it's time for another meeting, and let's decide on the next stage. And the next stage may be that I ask to get all the learning guides onto that server, and then we relink all the learning guides. And then at maybe the next time after that, we meet up and we talk about the databases, because as Mark pointed out, we released these courses, or made these courses available just before all the great work. Mally was heavily involved in that too, was doing all the videos and organizing the math databases. And so, yeah, that's a huge improvement. So we would definitely want to spend the time getting those databases moved over into your guys' courses and rebuild the tests, so that they go to these new categories. And now when your students write their tests and they submit them, now they get all these video solutions that they can sit back and figure out what they did wrong with every question. And your teachers are all happy because all those questions post exams, suddenly they are down to, only 10% of what they used to be, and all the students are happy. And yeah, so anyways, that's kind of what I envisioned. And of course, you guys tell me if you want it approached a different way or other thoughts, whatever.
Can I share my screen real quick somehow?
Yes, let me stop screen sharing and give me 1 second here. I just have to make you a co-host. And I guess I can stop recording.